we got off from the bowl game. DJ Jordan, one of the young freshmen, got a chance to really get some good reps with both the first and the second year, and was able to do some things and show that he's physically and mentally in the space to really start to be able to step in and contribute for us. And then of course, Jay Richardson has been steady. He dropped a couple pounds, and I think the way that we got him playing at right now suits his body, so he's able to go out and play fast. So, from top to bottom, I thought the spring was good. My three kids that are walk-ons got a chance to show that they can help this team, not just offensively, but in the special teams area as well. That being Asante Dawson.
Prince has such an interesting story, not really playing organized football until late. Can you kind of tell he's still raw in that sense, that he hasn't had as much football?
Well, I mean, I think some of the things that kind of showed up of his rawness was him still trying to learn what we do, how we do it, and our expectations. At the same time, actually getting out there and doing it for students. I think by the time he got here and got enrolled in school, we were already a month and a half into the offseason. So for him to get in and make some of the plays that he made in practice was impressive within itself. I think the guy that he's going to come into fall camp where he has a whole summer to fine-tune some of those things, as well as gain some time in the weight room. He'll be a different player.
Seems like that size, the physical traits are all obviously there.
Yeah, from a physical standpoint, he's a specimen. He gives you everything that you want.
So how do you personally?
Honestly, since having been here, going into the first year, you saw a lot of it. The same thing, the progression that you're seeing with him, you saw a lot of it with Brendan Rice. I think the excitement for him, as well as the rest of those guys, come from camp. I think the upside and the ceiling is very high.
Speaking of upside, Jacobe Lane, we all know he had the talent to do what he does. Talk about his maturation process, though, where he's now becoming more of a vocal leader of the team.
Jacobe has always been a person that bears his emotions on the scholarship. So I mean, from the first second when you encounter him, you can tell if he's having a good day or something's off. I think right now he's just playing at a level of confidence where he has. If you look at his Twitter account, you guys, you can't contact. I think he's settled enough to now he's starting to believe that every time he steps on the field, that he's starting to practice and play with that same type of mentality. And I think he's an infectious person. Like I said, he wears his emotions outward where everybody can see it. So I mean, when he's playing and practicing at that level, it's inspiration for the whole offensive unit as well. And I think that's one of the things in his maturity or the steps that he's had thus far in the offseason that is not helped his personal growth and improvement, but it's also helped the offense.
Do you like when players wear their emotions on their sleeve like that, or do you have to kind of help them find that balance?
Well, I think you try to help everybody find that balance. But I mean, the one thing about me is, when you come here and you play and we're working together, I'm not going to try to change your personality. That's, I knew that on the front end about him coming in and was fine with it. So I mean, I would be fooling myself to think that I'm going to try to change who he is as a person once he got here. Now, I don't think that's personally. I don't think that's healthy anyway. So I mean, I get that adversity is going to happen. He gets that adversity is going to happen. And, you know, we've both worked together to try to put him on the right plan and path that, you know, when it does come, how do you adjust, you know, as quickly as possible.
There was a stretch later in last season where he didn't play as much, and I know Lincoln had talked kind of about, you know, him becoming more mature and taking that next step forward. Is that a point where you have to have a conversation with him about that? If so, like, how did he respond? Going forward, obviously, had a big performance.
I mean, you know, and part of having the title coach, you know, you're constantly having conversation with the guys that you're on with. So, I mean, it wasn't like one instance, and it's like, oh, hey, let's have a conversation. I mean, I think, you know, I never coach every kid in that room the same way because they're all different when they come here. So what you try to do is what's worked, you know, for me is getting to know them and figuring out, okay, what buttons do I need to push to help you get and stay reminded of what you're talking about. Because at the end of the day, it's about them. And so, I mean, there's been several conversations that we've had. There'll be several conversations that we'll continue to have because, I mean, I think it's going to be an ongoing process.
With Jacobe, what are the buttons to push?
Well, I mean, I guess that's what makes me special. You know, that's kind of like the kryptonite. You never hear what's in that secret sauce. Those are just conversations, you know, mentor to mentoree conversations that you have. I mean, not every day they are always going to be the same.
If you were to compare Mekhi and Jacobe, how far apart are they on the spectrum of emotion?
I mean, they're two different individuals. I never really look at it as a comparison. Because, you know, both of them are talented players. Both of them have their different strengths. But both of them are very, very different, unique individuals. So, I mean, to me, that'd be a disservice to them to try to compare the way they approach it.
Obviously, Jacobe has sky-high potential. What is the key for him to kind of take that next step this year going forward?
Well, I mean, I think the first key is, you know, for the team to take a step. And I think, you know, as the team starts to have success, all of these guys individually success rate will jump off the chart. Key things, in my opinion, for him is to keep doing the things, the little things that he's doing. Such as, you know, hey, being accountable for your own actions first, and then, you know, setting the example for the rest of them. I think right now he's doing, you know, he's taking a step in the right direction and doing it.
How have you seen that accountability maybe in him taking that step?
I mean, you know, a lot of small off the field things. You know, the details and the nuances in alignments and split alignments and things on pre-snap that nobody really notices before play happens. His interaction with his teammates in the meeting room, his interaction with his teammates on the practice field. People talk about his emotions a lot, but if you ever watch a game of practice, if you truly watching him, I mean, if somebody else does something, he's the first person over there to congratulate him. So, I mean, you know, a large part of, you know, of that, like I said, is infectious. So.
You guys are going to start hitting the road.
With Mekhi, kind of on the same note, what's the key for him to kind of taking that next step?
Well, I mean, I don't know if there's just one thing.
What do you guys hope to get out of this?
You know, obviously, Kai's probably the most competitive guy that we have on the roster. From a talent standpoint, Mekhi can play all four of the skills. So I mean, that versatility helps him, and then he gives you so much in the special teams. And with the big four, he can play on all four of those. Obviously, we won't be able to use him on all four, but you know, from a talent standpoint, you put him out there, you know that he's going to get his job. So the biggest thing would be him is the consistency and the nuances and details that he's worked on.
Yep, Pat, also wide receiver number 3, I guess. So to speak. How's that going right now
What's an ideal
between the rest of the group?
Well, I mean, I'm not really trying to get a battle for wide receiver 3. I'm trying to get a battle for all of them to be wide receiver 1. So, if you're doing things the right way and you're doing your job, the ball, finds you. So, I mean, I don't really want to go into it in a situation saying, hey, okay, this is 1, you're 2, and you're 3. I want all of them going in with the mentality every time we snap the ball is going to you. So all of them should be going in with the mindset that, fuck this, I'm receiver 1.
I mean, you guys did a lot of rotating with the receiving core last year, especially. Do you envision Mekhi and Jacobe maybe having more of a, I know you said, everyone's competing, but do you envision maybe less rotating at that position maybe than years past, or the same?
Guys earn their opportunities to get out on the field. And I think I said this from day one when I first got here. If you're a receiver and you're not going to block, you're probably not going to play. So, I mean, the rotation comes because guys earn those spots. If you have guys that, compete at a high level and earn, the right to be out there, and as a coaching staff, we'll evaluate and determine, okay, how many reps should this guy get compared to how many reps that guy should get. So, I mean, at this point, I don't know that I would really say, in fairness to them, that we are going to predetermine before the season started, before even fall camp, that hey, we're giving this guy this many reps. That kind of contradicts and defeats the purpose of them working their butts off during the offseason. So we'll evaluate that, probably the second, third week in fall camp. Right now, all of them should be working to be receiver 1. All of them should be working to be the guy.
You've been with Lincoln a long time as an assistant. College football has changed more in the past 2 years probably than it has, I'm sure, in your entire career before that. Like, how have you seen him maybe adjust to this brand new kind of landscape of college athletics?
Well, I mean, as the game changes, we all have to evolve. We talk to our players about not getting content and being comfortable, so we have to practice what we preach. So, as it evolves and as it changes, so shall we. And if we don't, you get passed up, and most of the time when you get passed up, you become unemployed. Right now, I like being able to provide for my family.
Corey Sims was early enrollee. What have you seen? Where have you seen his growth from when he got here to where he's at now?
I think where he's at now. He knows where to line up. He knows what to do when he lines up. The growth for him will be, all right, not just understanding where to line up and what to do, but understanding the big picture. And I think this offseason will provide him an opportunity to get out there with the guys that he's going to be on the field with on Saturday and physically do time after time after time. So it becomes just a reaction as opposed to reassuring thoughts and thinking per se.
You guys still planning to go to Mexico?
We got to win this fall, man. So to be honest with you, I haven't really thought much about it. I'm glad you brought it up because prior to that, like I said, I haven't really thought much about it.
What do you see from DJ Jordan?
I've seen DJ take some steps to show where last year benefited him. I've seen his confidence grow to where he feels like, not only do I think I can play this game, I know I can play this game at this level, which has been a good thing for him. Obviously, there's some things that he still needs to work on, which he's aware of it, and is excited to get to work on those things. So it'll be interesting to see this version of DJ come from.
I'm not sure if you talked about Prince Strong before, but just have you coached someone in a unique situation like that where he's learning to play football on a golf course from an international kind of student athlete?
Not to that extent, but I've coached someone that you had to take one circumstance and kind of translate it to something so he can become a better footballer. The thing that I love about Prince is eager to learn and is willing to work hard and is 1,000% honest. So I think those steps will be made.
Oh, go ahead.
What do you see on film when you guys read them over here that you like about him?
I mean, I think the biggest thing that stood out about him was a play that he knew how the ball in his hand. Just his willingness and unselfishness to go block and strain for his teammates. So, that was the play that made me like, you know what, we're going after the right guy. If he's going to do this, we're for someone else. And just imagine what he'd do when it's for him.
Did you learn anything last year with the distribution of reps between maybe like 5 or 6 guys at receiver versus like when I got to the bowl game, it was more concentrated with just a couple, like, any kind of lessons from what you saw during the regular season versus like the way it kind of went in the bowl game?
I mean, I think everything in life is a lesson. If you're asking me, do I regret the rep distribution last year? My answer to you would be no. And the reason is because this is a hard game. When guys earn something, I feel like you should be rewarded with it. When we put the guy out on the field, that's our way of saying that, hey, we trust you to be out there and to do your job. I don't have any remorse, look back, or hesitation to get those decisions. We play guys in those situations where we thought could help put us in those situations. Sometimes it worked out, sometimes it didn't. But those guys put the work in to be out there. So, if you truly put the work in to be out there, then I feel like you deserve to get what you earn. We still chart everything that they do in practice to make decisions on, the reps and who plays and who doesn't. So leading into each week, it wasn't just like I knew what the results were. Every kid on the roster knew, every skilled kid on the roster knew, and in that meeting, I sent to them, and it's the first thing that we addressed. We talked about the catch chart, the result chart before every meeting. So,
it kind of depends on the roster. Like if you have 5 or 6 guys that are all doing the work and they all should be playing, and you might have another team that there's just only a couple maybe. It just kind of depends on who. What have you seen from like this group so far? Is there potential for a deeper rotation, you think? Or?
Yeah, I mean, these guys, this was one of the few springs that I've had a lot. That you go, when it ends, you wish you had another week and a half or another 2 weeks because you're not ready for it to be over. And this spring, these guys made it fun. Made it fun not just to go watch them practice. It made it fun to interact with them in the meeting room because everybody was working toward a common goal to get this unit the best that it can become, and everybody in there, realizes what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, and it was, eagerly ready to attack those challenges. And it was fun to watch that unfold. Fun to watch guys, turn a weakness into a strength, and it's going to be even funner to watch, the work that they do over the summer to continue to strengthen it, because it's only about strengthening the group.
With Jacobe Lane, he's kind of mature. Like Riley talked about him, he kind of stepped up more of a leadership role. How have you seen him mature over the last year or so?
Well, I mean, let's look at Jacobe's journey. Jacobe got here in June as a freshman. All right. So fall camp, you could obviously see that the kid had a talented skill set and had the ability to make plays. All right. You go throughout that fall camp, he's still learning where to line up, what to do, what his complementary route, what truly the concept is of each play. And as he started to learn that and it started to take fold, he really didn't master it until toward the end of his freshman year. But you got a chance to see once again his skill set and showcasing things in the bowl game. This, for him and Kai, this was really their sophomores on the field in the class, but this was really their true time that they got a chance to be in a starting role as a freshman. So, you go through the season, obviously, by the time this season ended, his confidence level is starting to match, the slogan he's trying to mentally put out in the atmosphere and play himself too. He's like, hey, can't nobody guard him. Well, he has success in the bowl game this year. So now that confidence level is here. And what he's done is he's carried that confidence level into spring game. And the game is kind of slowed down for him because he's not on the line pre-snap thinking like, hey, am I in the right line in the right split? What is my route? I mean, he knows that. Now he's looking at, okay, what's the defensive picture that they're presenting to me, and what's the best way of me attacking it to get open what I need to get open. And now he's able to help some of the younger guys that are struggling with some of the same struggles that he had when he first got here. Hey, I know Coach told you to do this. When I do it, I may give him a hezzy here because this is going to delay it another second because you may be this, and this, and the repercussions. So now he's passing some of those tools of you learn as you play the game along to guys in the room that maybe hadn't had as much playing experience as he has. And, Jacobe's one of those guys that, he wears his emotions out. And when he does something good, obviously he's going to express himself. But I mean, when you truly watch Jacobe, anybody else on the field when he does something good, he's just as excited for him as he would be for himself. So that kind of spirit and that kind of personality kind of gets things going and makes it fun, not just for him but for everybody on the offensive side of the ball. So I mean, he's starting to let more of his personality and passion be more just as effective for the guys that play with him.
Where do you see him taking more of a leadership role? Where do you see Jacobe taking more of a leadership role in the team?
In my conversations with Jacobe, I really talk to him more about, people do what you do more so than what you say. So if you're doing your job day in and day out, play in and play out, straight in playing hard, that's more impactful and more inspiring as a leader than anything that you may say. And he's playing at that level. And I don't know that truly answers your question, but I mean that's watching him practicing and thinking back through all of the practices that we had. That was the one thing that he did consistently. He was constant on bringing it positive.
How's it been working with Chad Savage so far?
It's been cool. I mean, I think Chad is a great guy. It's work. I'm gonna do my job. He's gonna do his job. He's brought a lot of great ideas. I have some good ideas, and it's one of those things. From day one, he's all about winning football games. I'm all about winning football games. So, I mean, I couldn't see where our relationship wasn't going to be anything but a good relationship. He's committed to doing everything to make the receiver group the best it could be. I'm committed to doing everything that it takes to make the receiver group the best it could be. So, once again, I couldn't see where the partnership wouldn't go.
Did you guys work together recruiting and stuff and everything?
Yeah, I mean, because you want to get guys that that you can project and possibly do all of it.
Yeah.
That's kind of allude to your question about the rotation. That's one of the luxuries that we have around here is that have a guy that can only play inside or a guy that can only play inside. And you got guys that you can line up and pose problems for the defense all over the place. So. I think we both have a good grasp of understanding of that. So, even in our evaluation process, I think we're strangely to have not have known each other. This being our first time to work together, truly and say have someone at the same taste on what we're looking for in that position. So,